Yeah,
Logi, thanks for spending a couple minutes with me to talk about the British Swim School at Blackstone Valley. We're excited to have you at the Doubletree. Tell me about the school in general.
yeah. So we've been around for over 41 years now. Right? Kind of we have over 375 pools that we operate in across US and Canada, and we are primarily a water survival school. That's how we kind of look at ourselves, and then we kind of progress into stroke development and so on. So the way we kind of look at our program and curriculum, right? We kind of break it down into three high levels. The first one is acclimation, where we want to make sure that whether they are kids or adults, they are comfortable getting into the water. They kind of look at, seeing how they can have fun in the water and so on, and not kind of have the fear of water. So we kind of help with that in the acclimation phase. Once we kind of get them acclimated to the water, the next thing we focus on is water survival. And I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Ray, but drowning is the number one reason for kids deaths in the U.S. from ages 1 through 5.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
It's like an epidemic, and I feel like we're not doing enough to kind of help that space. And it's the number two reason for kids between 11 to 15. And can you guess what's number one for kids ages 11 through 15? Number one is death due to gun violence.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's an
Yeah,
epidemic too.
right, right. So this is right behind that. And there are certain notions I feel like parents and kids have with regard to swimming. They think swimming is a privilege, but it's not really the case. We have so many bodies of water around us, whether it's your neighbor's pool or going to the lake and so on. People have fun in the water, but they forget the basics as to what they need to do to kind of make sure they are safe in the water, right? So I think trying to reinforce a bunch of those kind of water safety practices is something that we do when we run our classes as well. It's not just about how do you get in the water and save yourself, but
Mm.
it's also about when you see someone else in distress, we train them and coach them as to how you can help them out. For example, right, if you're with your friend and you're seeing your friend is in distress, the first instinct that kids have is let me jump into the water and go save them. But that's a big no-no. It's you got to try and save them from the shore if you can. That's step one, right? If you have something long, kind of put that across and help them come in. Or if you have to get into the water with a float, we teach those techniques as well. In fact, we do something called as survival day. Every quarter, we do like one day where we call it the survival day, and we have kids come over to our school with their daily clothes, whether that's pajamas or clothes that they wear to go outside. Because most of the time when these accidents happen, they're not in their swimming trunks, they're not wearing goggles and swim goggles and so on.
Mm.
It just happens, right? And and the way we kind of progress kids through each of our levels, we discourage the use of swim aids during those phases, and also we don't allow kids to kind of have swim goggles till they reach stroke development as such.
Is that kind of
Because
like is that a crutch for most people to wear goggles? You have to acclimate your eyes in the water to get used to that before you start putting in any protective eye gear, correct?
exactly, and even with swim aids, right? Some folks think like, hey, my kids got those floaty things in their arms, they're going to be safe, and they're not because those things come on, even the tubes. The kid can easily get out of it, and it's there's fine print on each of these things that you get from the store saying, hey, this is not something that would save your child. But people tend to ignore that. They think, come on, my kid's safe once they have that, right?
Mm.
Even back to school parts today, uh, they can be dangerous. There are certain practices that we share with the parents or the caretakers that come with kids as well, kind of educating them, saying, hey, we have this notion of a water watcher. There has to be a designated water watcher if you're having a pool party, for example, and that has to be a role that they switch every 20 minutes. You can't have someone standing there for an hour looking at kids. That's not effective. We've seen that through studies, kind of saying 20-25 minutes is the maximum time someone can pay attention to kind of monitor kids in that kind of a setting, and you want to kind of rotate them around as such. So there are a lot of basics that we kind of share with parents and kids. that basically enable them to kind of saying, hey, what can I do to prevent an incident from happening when I'm on watch or in my neighborhood, right?
Mm,
And drowning is a silent killer. It's not, doesn't make a lot of noise and so
right.
on. And it takes 20 seconds, right, for
Oh my
someone
gosh.
to, it's that quick. It's that quick.
At
Uh,
Logi, at what age should a child start to learn? Like, what's the earliest age that you've worked with before?
right. So we have kids as young as 3 months,
Oh
and
wow.
and we as our tadpoles. And at 3 months, it's the parents or the caregivers get into the water with their child because the child is most comfortable with their parent. So we actually work with the parent to train the child in the water, and we start them with kind of having fun. And it's all about the programs all around uh, getting kids to have fun in the water while teaching them these skills. So, and you probably know this, when you're having fun doing something, you really don't think you're learning something.
Right.
Like I used to kids to Kuman, and nothing bad about Kuman, but they used to hate it because they used to go there and they used to think it's a chore. I got to sit with a booklet and to solve these problems for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. That's not always fun. There might be some kids that love it, not most of them, right? I know my kids didn't love it.
Mm,
Uh, So it's about how do we have a fun and gentle and progressive way of getting kids into the water, and they don't realize they're actually learning life survival skills in the water. We start teaching them how to float from that young age, and once they are comfortable, we kind of graduate them to the next level, and in that level we call it Swimbori within our curriculum, and in that level the goal is to start getting the kid comfortable to be a little bit away from the parent, right? And we start teaching them independent backflows and what we call as torpedo rollovers, right? It's very progressive. Actually, if I can send you a copy of our curriculum that we go through. It's all about, hey, if I fall into the water, I need to. It needs to be muscle memory for me to roll on my back and float and call out for help.
and relax.
Right, right. You can't fight with water.
Right.
Water is your friend when you're relaxing in it.
Yeah, and that going back to helping somebody, trying to save somebody, staying on the shore, grabbing something long. I know I've been out in water that was over my head, trying to help somebody, and when they're panicking, they're going to do whatever they can do to save themselves, which means try to
Okay.
use you as a flotation device.
They could pull you down, right? At that point, you lost the whole purpose of going in the water to save them. Now your life is in danger as well.
Right. That's
Yeah,
a lot of people don't realize that, but it's that instinct to jump in is a great instinct, I think, on a humanity level, but it doesn't help anybody.
it's like when you go in an aircraft, right? And then there's an issue with the oxygen levels. They say, secure yourself first before you help the
Right.
others. It's the same notion out here, right? And the other analogy that we try to educate parents is when you have a child in the car, you 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 have seat belts that restrain them and kind of keep them within the seat for their safety. Water survival is no different than that. You need to there are certain decisions that parents need to make to kind of make sure their kids and loved ones are safe. And and given the environment that we live in, this is this is right up there with kind of how we look at seatbelts. It's really not an option
Yeah.
for most of us. And folks keep asking me, Ray, kind of, hey, you're operating out here. You have other pool partners, other pool operators that are operating in your neighborhood and so on. And I'm like, that's great. That's great. We need more people to do this because the count of drownings in the country is going up. It's not going down. So in spite of having like so many different people who offer swim lessons, that number is not making a dent.
Mm.
And that's kind of our number one goal, kind of safety. And how do we kind of promote that?
So getting used to the water, getting friendly with the water, enjoying the water safety, and then what about the learning to swim in general?
Right. And as they get through kind of our acclimation and survival, we start getting them into our stroke development levels. So we have kind of a well-defined kind of a 9-level program, and each level has 5 goals. And it's so well-defined that parents can easily understand and see that as their kids are demonstrating those capabilities. So it's kind of how one leads to the other, to get them to kind of being safe swimmers. And when they get to a level that we call as turtle two, which is our, we start a stroke development kind of all the way from, uh, you know, I'm going to use some terms that we use. Like, we have starfish, which is acclimation, minnow is survival, and turtle one is still survival, but we start working on backstrokes and so on. So that way, as they float the back, we kind of teach them how to, move their arms to swim. And turtle two, we start kind of working with them and building the skills so that they can start doing backstroke for 20 yards, freestyle for 20 yards. So we start increasing kind of their ability in the water at every level. Like turtle one, we say, hey, we can swim independently for 10 yards. That's great. Awesome. That's the goal for this level. Now let's get you to the next level. And we keep working on those water survival skills every level in addition to the strokes. So even in turtle two, when we are focusing on backstroke and freestyle, right, we still kind of teach kids how do you jump into the water, roll over your back, kind of do your backstrokes and so on. And treading water is another thing that we teach them as well.
Yep.
Because that's an important skill, especially when you're trying to kind of save others. And some kids love to be lifeguards, and this is something that as a lifeguard you need to be able to do. Like they say, hey, you need to be able to tread water because there are times when you got to go, and when you're treading water, you're kind of using just your legs, not your arms, because your arms are helping the person in distress and getting them out and so on. So it's kind of how do we make them more capable, not just for themselves, but eventually, if they wish to, they can be more capable, be a lifeguard or something along those lines to help others as well.
Logi, some people never learn how to swim. So are you teaching teens and adults as well?
We are. We have a pre-adult, kind of a young adult program and as well as an adult program. And the way we look at our program, Ray, it is age over ability. It's nothing to do with how old you are. It's about what you are able to do in the water. And our curriculum kind of just adapts to it, kind of saying, okay, we're going to run through this curriculum with you. Doesn't matter whether you're 3 months old or 50, 60 years old. It's the same thing. If you display certain abilities, we're going to kind of run you through the program till you kind of become a safe swimmer in the water. And this mentality and thought process is very personal as well, Ray. I had a cousin of mine. They went to a waterfall for a picnic, and his son fell in the water.
Oh.
And the first thing that struck him was he's going to get into the water to save his son. And guess what? The current was so bad, it just swept both of them.
Oh.
And I was like, wow. Every incident of this thought that I hear, I'm like, what could have I done to kind of make things better, right?
Right.
Each one of us, when we start thinking about how do we improve the community around us, we can make a tremendous difference by joining hands, joining forces, and getting there.
Yeah.
And I see Doubletree as an awesome partner. I feel like they do a lot for their community as well.
Yes.
And this is one thing more that they are partnering with British Swim School to kind of make a difference in the community that they serve in.
And how will this work with the Doubletree? They have a fantastic pool area there. How are you guys partnering, and what will the classes be like? The timing, all that. Give us an idea of how you're partnering with the Doubletree.
So the way we're doing it is we're going to be operating in there Mondays through Thursdays. We're starting with a couple of days to start off with. As the enrollment picks up, we're going to be spanning across the 4 days of the week, 4 weekdays out there, and we will be running our classes from 3:30 to 7:30 in the afternoon. That's typically when kids come out of school. They have a snack, and the parents are able to bring the kids to our classes, and we kind of structure it in a way such that we start out with the younger kids earlier, and then some of our more advanced levels like stroke development and so on is a little bit later in the evening because those kids have other activities that they go to after school. So we kind of structure that around it. The pool, I should say, at Doubletree is one of the best I've seen, Craig.
Oh, wow.
They have a 45 feet pool. It's a saltwater pool. And I'm not sure if you are aware, but we need chlorine in the water to kind of kill the germs. That's kind of what chlorine does. And some people can add direct chlorine in the water, there is another way, gentle way, by adding salt that produces chlorine that cleans the water, and that is actually easy on your skin. At the end of the day, it's like we have, for example, our instructors are in the water for anywhere between 2.5 hours, right?
Mm.
So we want to make sure that while our instructors are teaching students how to be safe in the water, we want to make sure our instructors are safe as well.
Right.
And it's a great time that's going to just radiate and kind of make sure the kids are having a great time out there. So we are really fortunate to kind of have a pool that's that awesome. And you've probably been to the Doubletree for sure, right? And the restaurants out there, I think the outdoor restaurant that's out there, I believe you guys are investing a lot in that to kind of make it appealing for the summer.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great place for families to come, take a swim lesson and spend the evening out there.
Absolutely. The Oasis Patio, it's a beautiful spot. It's a beautiful hotel, and they keep adding to the Oasis Patio. We have a new deck going on this weekend. So yeah, we're looking forward to this partnership with you. And when's everything starting? Can people start enrolling now?
They can actually go to our website, which is britishswimschool.com/Backstone-Valley. And I can follow up with an email with you too, also with the URLs and so on. They can go there. They can learn about the program. There's an FAQ, which is a blog that talks about water safety. And there are also links out there for enrolling them into the course as such. So we start off the week of June 24th. June 25th is going to be our first day operating. And we are trying to make that as a inauguration week, a friends and family week. So, families can come in, experience what learning to swim and water survival could look like for their child. And we kind of go live starting July 1st.
Okay.
So that's the point. And really excited teaming up with the Doubletree to kind of make this happen.
Well, Logi, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. We look forward to this relationship that we're going to grow leaps and bounds with you guys.
Hey, same here. Likewise, Ray. Awesome.
All right. That's it. Thank you, Logi.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And if you ever need anything, let me know. How did we talk? Over email. So you have my email now. If you need anything, if you need me to post anything on the social media, just send it to me and I'll get it up for you.
Awesome. I'll do that. Does the same post go on Instagram to pick up Instagram and Facebook, Ray?
Yes. Yeah.
Beautiful. So I will continue to do that. We are still working on some more material talking about our go live date and the friends and family